Good Sunday morning, everybody. Chris Allen here on the Sam channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. Weather stick is blue and it's not moving, which means the winds have calmed down. Boy, another windy day yesterday, a few reports of power outages and a few trees down. It was a beautiful day, but it just was windy again, not quite as windy as it was last Saturday, but still very breezy at times. And then some of you had a canopy of clouds that just came in and kind of settled in over the northern and central parts of Kentucky. And we're still seeing some of those clouds this morning on the satellite view. This that you see, that little bit of lighter gray here that kind of covers the eastern part of the state, that's that same canopy of clouds. It kind of dipped really close to the Bowling Green area, but went a little bit further north, kind of like that. And it just, kept things on one half of the sky, it was clear, and on the other half, it was cloudy. It was kind of a weird thing. Then you had the breezy conditions, but we've got high pressure in control this morning. A little straw, little weak, little disturbance, if you will, just kind of coming through, but everything else is really clear back here to the west, and we're looking at another beautiful day. It's not going to be like it was yesterday as far as the breezes and as far as the cloud cover. We're not going to quite have that like we had yesterday over parts of the area. So should be a little bit brighter day for some of you that experience some of the clouds. And the winds, well, they'll be light. There may be a little breeze here and there, but not much of one. As we look at the 10-day blender, looking at a big warm up and then another cool down, but not cold, just a cool down coming over the next 10 days. As you see there, we've got about mid 60s today, near 70 tomorrow. And as we talk about the next system coming in, that will affect us on Tuesday and Wednesday, it's really going to warm up. You're looking at low 80s maybe for high temperatures then, very breezy conditions as well. We see the mid to upper 70s as a cold front comes through on Wednesday. And behind that front, we do cool down toward the end of the week and into the upcoming weekend. Temperatures running just right at or just above average for this time of the year, which is 66. So you look at that chart and you see, knowing the average temperature is 66, you can tell whether we're going to be above or below. Everything looks almost above, except for a couple of days, including today. Yesterday's high was 70. It got a little bit warmer than what we thought it would. We thought the cold front would affect us earlier than it did with the winds ramping up, but we really didn't start to cool down until late afternoon. And you could tell because we started out like upper 60s to near 70, and the wind started blowing, and everything was good till about noon, 1 o'clock or 2. And then the temperatures just started to slowly come down. And by late afternoon, even before sunset, temperatures were starting to fall into the 50s. So it took a while before that cooler air got in here, but it's here now because we've got a somewhat of a frosty start this morning at some of the Kentucky mesonet sites as we check the temperatures currently as of 5:30 on this Sunday morning. We've got lots of 30s around the area, some 40s here in the central part, and that is where I showed you on the satellite view. We've got that blanket of cloud, so that's holding in some of the heat from yesterday and keeping temperatures warmer. But that deep blue over us and parts of western Kentucky, that's where the skies have cleared, and so temperatures have fallen into the low to some mid 30s in there. So there will be a little bit of patchy frost as you start your Sunday morning. If you're going to head out to church this morning, you may need to allow yourself some time to warm up your vehicle and defrost. Otherwise, there may have been just enough wind to keep that from happening to the rest of you. All right, here's a look at the model map as we take a tour through the next several days and kind of scope out what's coming. That Pacific flow, that zonal west to east flow is still there. So we're not going to see any cooler weather in the short term. Let's put this into motion, and you can see that everything is pretty quiet until we get this little disturbance here that's going to work through the area starting tomorrow morning. I do think that by early tomorrow morning, about the time that I do this podcast, around 5 a.m. or so, that we'll see some light rain kind of pushing through the area. This is not going to be anything significant. It's just going to be a little bit of light rain, as you see there. Some of you may not even get anything out of this. The real event is coming with the low pressure system you can see traipsing across the Intermountain West and then into the plains. And that is going to be the culprit for the next round of severe weather. And I even hate to say that some of the same places that have been hit in previous days and weeks may get hit again with more severe weather. It is a real possibility. Look at that low already at 988 millibars as it moves across the central part of the country. Big trough out west where it's going to get cold, and the really warm air forcing itself in ahead of this system. So we've got another classic spring setup for severe weather as it starts to develop. You can see this, the timeline here. We're looking at 7 p.m. Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Showers and thunderstorms will start to form a big line. Look at that. This is going to be another one of those where it's a long squall line of thunderstorms, heavy rain, gusty winds, and the possibility of more tornadoes. Right here, as I mentioned, in that same part of the country that's been hit already just this past week, and looks like they could get hit again. I do want to focus on this low pressure system. It's going to be more up into Minnesota and into the upper Great Lakes. 988 millibars is it showing here. And that's where the best energy is going to be. And look at all those isobars tightly packed. You know what that means? Wind. And there's our shear environment. You've got winds coming out of the west and northwest on the underside of the low, and then you've got surface winds that are coming out of the south and southwest, and so that provides that shear environment that we need to help produce severe weather and gusty thunderstorms. So all I can say is here we go again, but at least it's not on a Friday. That's the difference. This is going to be on a Tuesday into Wednesday. And here we go with this thing coming through, and it will be booking. It'll be booking. Again, it's going to be just forcing itself. There will be a lot of forcing, a lot of lift, perfect environment with the moisture and the wind shear needed for severe weather. So just go ahead and bank on it. Heads up, Tuesday night into Wednesday. It's going to be another eventful couple of days as that system comes on through. It will be out of here by Wednesday night and into early Thursday. And then for once, we're looking at what might be a quiet weekend. That system moves away. There's a little bit of overrunning moisture you see here from the Gulf of Mexico that may try to work in here by the weekend, but it's going to be just general rain showers. It's not going to be anything severe. So, gosh, I hate even I hope you're prepared. But for some of you, it's a saving grace that you haven't gotten your roofs fixed yet, because more shingles may blow off and more trees may go down. Look, it would take me all day to explain why all this wind. I had comments yesterday when I was out at Save-A-Lot in Scottsville doing the the benefit for Center for Courageous Children and Kids. And it's like, it's just one of those years where we get a lot of wind. It's just the way it is. Here's a look at the severe weather outlook. This is the day 3 outlooks. That takes us to Tuesday. But this is just the beginning of the severe weather event. And already there's a level 1, there's a level 2, and there's a level 3 enhanced over some of the same areas: Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, West Tennessee. And of course, that area will move east. The big question is, as it moves east, Tuesday night into Wednesday, will it hold its strength or will it begin to weaken? That's an outlier right now. That's conditional. Okay. We call it conditional because we still need to be within that short term window to really get a fix on just how severe it's going to be for Kentucky, and especially southern Kentucky. So I would just go ahead and prepare. You're going to get wind, you're going to get rain, you're going to get storms again. It's going to be the same thing that we've dealt with pretty much all of 2023 so far. We kind of knew this was going to be an active severe weather season. We haven't had one like this in a long time, but here we are. It's the pattern that we're in. Okay. It is not that unusual. What's unusual is that we have not seen this kind of pattern over and over again for decades, for a long time. So here we are, we're not used to it, and it's catching everybody off guard. And it's, making us that do forecasting and do weather, scratch our heads and, all right, what's next? Let's just brace ourselves for what's next. And that's why it pays to be prepared for these things always. All right, here's a look at the surface map. Today, pretty quiet, high pressure overhead, sunny day, not as breezy. The winds have relaxed. It should be a good day. We're going to get into the low 60s, and we're starting out a bit frosty this morning, so it's not going to be as warm, but it's still going to be really nice today. Um, we get into tonight. Here comes that disturbance, that little bit of moisture coming up. Whoops, it just reset on me. A little bit of moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico ahead of this next frontal boundary. So as we wake up on Monday morning, there will be a little bit of light rain and into the morning hours, and then it's gone. It'll move north along that boundary, and we get a break Monday afternoon, Monday night. Into Tuesday, we'll see some showers and a couple of thunderstorms popping up in the late day, but it's Wednesday into Thursday. Wednesday, especially, look at that. There's that big 988 millibar low pressure system up in Minnesota that I showed you. It becomes wrapped around itself. It's got that tilt to it, becomes, the official word is occluded into itself. And then there's the front. Okay. Showers, thunderstorms, maybe another round of severe weather and gusty winds for us on Wednesday. By Thursday, it leaves us. Friday, there's a straw. There's a shortwave disturbance, a little trough coming up from the Gulf of Mexico that pushes some light rain into the area, but this doesn't look severe. It just sits there for next Saturday. Okay. So there you go. As you head out, and today is Palm Sunday, I hope that you're being prepared for the severe weather coming. And as you get ready for church services, Palm Sunday services this morning, Holy Week this week, let's say a prayer for everybody that's still trying to recover from the tornadoes in Arkansas, Little Rock, Wynne, Arkansas. People still trying to clean up in Mississippi and other parts of the country, Iowa, Indiana, all over the place. We didn't have any tornadoes in Kentucky at all. We had some straight line winds, and that was it from the other night. But Tuesday could be another one of those days. And so as Holy Week services are going on in a lot of places, and you guys are preparing for Easter, let's just, keep everybody in our thoughts and prayers this week for sure. All right. I'm headed to church this morning. Hope you are too on this Palm Sunday. In the meantime, thank you as always for watching. God bless you. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow morning.